the roadmap session. My name is Vidya Chidaga, and I'm excited to host this 30 minutes for you. Let's get started. Let me make sure I pull up the right presentation. There we go. Here it is. Perfect. Screen share. And I hope you all can see my screen. Let me go into presentation mode. I can only see your, I can only see myself and the screen, so I'm hoping this is working. Anybody on Q&A or chat, if it's not, please holler. Welcome everyone. This is the session for the 2022 and beyond platform innovation roadmap. My name is Vidya Chidaga. I am the Vice President of Products here at Cleo. Super excited to bring this session to you. We have 30 minutes. I've jam-packed it with content. So if you see me go a little fast, just know that I have the timer on here, so I don't want to go over. But we have a fun agenda, right? I do want to expose how we think about investments here in product, why and how we decide what we invest in. Just about 3 to 5 minutes on that. I want to talk about the top 5 innovations we've had thus far in 2021. That'll just help. Thank you, Tony. So you can see my screen, and I'm hoping you can hear me as well. So the top innovations we have thus far in 2021, and the most important part where I want to spend the bulk of the time is on the 18-month roadmap. With that, let me get started. Oh, safe harbor statement. I'm so glad there's a slide for this. This is our general product direction. I don't want you to go and buy a yacht or decide to make some massive investments based on the presentation today. But this is the direction that Cleo is going in, and hopefully you find it exciting. Okay, so we have a philosophy, we have investments that we can make in the product. So let's say I have $100, then I get to spend $60 on new functionality, on new features, on things that meet our naked eye, the things that you can see and play with, and you can use on a regular basis. The second part of the $60 is spent on hyper-scalable platform, which means that we want to make sure the platform is stable, the platform is scalable, the platform is available 99.95% of the time. That's the first bucket of investment. I do want to take a minute, a few seconds to talk about the performance of the platform. I know we've had a few degradations in the past couple of weeks, and that is not it's at the UI level. Your transactions and your revenue generating orders and invoices were flowing through the system seamlessly. It was what was being shown up in the cockpit, it went into a spiral loop, and it threw off some of the alarms. And so you can imagine, the previous session we spoke about agility. Because of the agility we've built into the way we develop software here at Cleo, being a platform company, being a product-led company, we are able to quickly pivot and focus on how we can fix it. One is doing something reactively, but proactively too, because of the $60 I get to spend on this. We have an entire squad of engineers just focused on breaking the platform, trying to test it day in and day out, trying to figure out what the outlier use cases are and how we could maybe have those figured out before there's a potential event from a customer trigger. So that's the $60. And then we have another $15 kept aside, and that we invest regularly on customer-driven requests. I think the word driven is key here. It's not customer-specific requests, but it's customer-driven requests. While the new functionality The $60 is, of course, based on the voice triangle that I was talking to you about, the voice of the customer, voice of market, and voice of Cleo. We're also, there are certain requests that come in where a customer, and you will see this on the roadmap, let's say something was planned for organically being developed in month 12. And if a customer comes and says, not just one customer, but we start hearing from a few customers that this is something which is really impacting their business right now, October of 2021, because of the disruptions in the marketplace, because of their competitive pressures, because of something happening at a dock in Los Angeles. If we start hearing these kinds of requests, then we change the priority, and we are nimble and agile enough to make that a higher priority and pull it in and not wait for month 12. So that's the $15. The other $15 on the right-hand side are bugs and defects. If we waited to make the platform bug-free, I guess it'll take another 10 years to just make it perfect and take care of every outlier use case. So what we do is we keep aside some dollars just to be able to respond to our severity 1 and severity 2 and those kinds of bugs and defects. Then we've got the platform upkeep and product operations. As you can imagine, this is keeping the lights on, making sure that there's just certain things. It's not from the customer. It's not coming from product managers. It's not a bug or a defect. It's not an enhancement request. It's just there. That's something our engineers need to do in order to be able to keep the operations running on the product side. So I just wanted to expose some of our spend and investment philosophy here at Cleo. And then the next is, once we decide, and this is more to do with the $60 here on the top, right? Once we decide this is what we want to do, we've got a variety of idea sizes, right? We call them ideas. And these ideas kind of fall in 3 buckets. They're either pebbles or rocks or boulders. When it's a pebble, and by the way, I didn't use the word impact in here. It only makes its way to the vase when it's high impact. Just to throw a number out there, we have, I think in our roadmap tool, we have about 750 ideas right now. And every quarter, we could be working on anywhere between 4 to 7 ideas. So you can imagine we have to pick and choose. It's what we say no to. That's a higher pressure on us than what we do pick to build on, right? So we've got pebbles, which are maybe smaller problems, small effort, but high impact. We've got rocks, which are significant problems, significant effort, and of course, high impact. And then we've got the boulders, which honestly do break up into rocks and maybe also into pebbles for us to be able to chew them and work on it, because the vase is our capacity. That's the way we look at how we prioritize. It's that axis of effort versus impact. And those are the trade-offs we make every single day on the product side. Okay, so let me just walk you through quickly the top 5 innovations we've had on the product side. I think the automated reprocessing of failed jobs is something that was really critical for our customers. You've asked for it. You wanted it for a long time, and we were able to bring it, right? Not having the transactional reprocessing after errors, that was after an error was thrown either from your end or the trading partner end, was just documents were failing, either because of connectivity issues, some kind of translation issues, and customers really, you guys needed to process that so you could complete the transaction. So now there's automated retime feature where we've completely removed the need for manual intervention, and it's just that transaction reprocessing after errors. It just helps with just making sure that you're not dependent on any kind of manual updates. And then there are these real-time status updates as well. Then we've got the lookup table. I mean, this was something that the web-based lookup table management was big. Business users had no visibility into what was configured in the cross-reference table. you needed some kind of a technical expertise to be able to go and pull that. So that was an issue. And now we have, you can look up thousands of entries. You can look at the product database tables and cross-reference them. And, you could look at product IDs, inventory attributes, values, and so on and so forth. So you're able to perform those operations instead of spending. I mean, we've had customers where they said we had an integrator that would spend 2 hours a day, 2 to 4 hours a day, maintaining these cross-reference tables. There are just so many SKUs and so many product IDs. So we brought that visibility into the cockpit, so you're better able to manage and maintain the cross-reference data. Trading partner management is of course, onboarding our trading partners is something that we've always, all of our customers have asked for it. It's a big requirement. The use case we were trying to solve for was a new trading partner profile that needs to be set up and managed in the cockpit, so that you can help expedite the onboarding. That needed to be set up. So now what we do is all the CRUD operations for the trading partner can now be done on the cockpit. You're able to add endpoints to the partner. You're able to look at existing endpoints so that you can associate it with this trading partner, and the users tab to associate users to that particular partner. And of course, this is what was released. We're also working constantly. I think the next step is associating jobs to the trading partners, and so on and so forth. Subfolder. Well, the partner mailbox is a popular a part of the data movement strategy. And when a mailbox is created, we were restricting it to just one single upload or one single download folder, right? And customers needed a way to organize and expose their files in an effective manner. So now what they can do is we've allowed for protocol endpoint to participate in more than one inbound and outbound data flow. And just creating these subfolders in the partner mailbox, you can create folders, subfolders. You can create folders at the sibling level and at the child level. And I think that was great. Last but not the least were the cloud storage connector, right? With the storage connector, as you know, there's increased demand for cloud-based storage, S3, Google Cloud, OFTP, Azure connectivity. It's just a huge bottleneck. It was a huge bottleneck from a platform adoption perspective for CIC. So, as B2B file transfers are happening, the ability to connect the data that's residing in these common cloud storage applications is key. And so we brought that to the table. We now provide S3 storage, Google Cloud Platform Bucket, Azure Blob, as well as OFTP connectors as endpoints in CIC Cockpit, and that was something you guys asked for, and it's there. I see I have 15 minutes left. I'm going to expedite this a little bit. I have a big announcement. So we have about a few hundred participants on the call, and I'm thinking there might be Lexicom and VL Trader customers on the call as well. So you've been a big fan of Cleo. You've loved Lexicom and VL Trader, and now we urge you to bring the same love to CIC Cloud. We've built an amazing assessment and a conversion tool for you, and we are just announcing that. I believe the tool will be available next week. And this is the massive announcement where you can ask your Cleo contact to run an assessment on your existing setup. We can look at your configurations. We can figure out what connections you have, hosts, and all of that. And we can then determine, we can work with you, be a trusted advisor, and say, is this the right time for you to move to CIC Cloud? And then, of course, not just do the assessment, but help you convert and move to the cloud as well. Lexicom VL Trader customers, calling all of you guys, get in touch with us. Simple would be to just send an email also to products@clio.com on top of getting in touch with your product, with your contact here at Cleo. Or you could go through support. Next, of course, you heard this morning, amazing launch on accelerators. This is our CIC Cloud customers will now get a chance to revolutionize their their products and their services in the supply chain world. And you can do that with Cleo Integration Cloud. This does not make the New York Times, I wish, but at least I was able to put a screenshot together, aspirational, right? I guess Tushar, if we can pull some funds, I'm sure we can do it for the next product release. But this is what was launched this morning. You see it in the press release. Look for an email from me later today or tomorrow, where we'll send you more information on what was released. More importantly, this is about having pre-built connectivity between your endpoint, your systems of record on the left-hand side, and the up and coming latest and greatest marketplaces and e-commerce. And we are able to do that just out of the box. It's pre-built, only configuration, no coding needed. And of course, we never stop with just applications. We do have our allegiance to X12 and to EDI. So it's connecting ERP, TMS, WMS, all the way into your retailers, carriers, 3PLs, freight brokerages, as well as up and coming leading applications such as Amazon, Walmart.com, Target.com, e-commerce like Shopify, Magento, and so on. So when I show you my 18-month roadmap, which I have 13 minutes for, not bad. I think I'm doing good on time. These are the buckets. These are the themes that we are going to build off of. I'm trying to adjust my screen so that the sun rays are not on my face. There you go. So I have, these are 9 cells, and I want to spend at least a minute on each of them. Let's see if the animation works on the next slide. There you go. Okay. Platform non-functional requirements. So NFRs are the ones that you and I can't see with our naked eye, but it's the platform. It's the actual foundation on which all of the applications and integrations are built on. So in order to be able to scale our platform performance, to be able to get the high availability and that security and performance, we are constantly, and if you remember about 10 minutes ago, I mentioned that we have $60 kept aside for new features and for hyperscalability in the platform. And so it's a part of that where we are investing every quarter or so. We take one of these NFRs and go really deep into it. For example, we could take security, and we did actually. In the months leading up to Cleo Connect, we spent a copious amount of time and energy on just security, making our cloud so secure, trying to poke holes in our own cloud, having extensive testing. We have an entire squad that's dedicated to system testing. We've now taken up just stability, trying to figure out what could be injected, what's the bottleneck in maybe architecture where one particular trigger is bringing the rest of the platform down, especially important in the world of multi-tenancy, right? And so that's our platform NFR, super important for us. And that's why I decided to make that the first bullet I want to talk about. I did this little house remodeling and I don't have any curtains now. And I'm just going to try and sit this way. Next, we have enhancing operational experience, right? To be able to take that, to be able to make sure that when, as a person that's operating in the cockpit, right? What kind of error resolution or error management and alerts and notifications and reporting that we can surface to you in the cockpit, so you don't have to really go and go down into the studio to try and figure it out. So it's all about, when you think about the integration life cycle, the way Cleo thinks about it is we've got design, build, operate, and optimize. So somewhere it's the last 2 that fall in this bucket, which is when you're operating and optimizing, how are you going to improve my experience? Are you going to show me something that's going to be just enough, so timely, so contextual, so relevant that I can now take action on it when I am actually in that particular screen facing something that I want to take action on? So exception management, error resolution, it's absolutely about enhancing operational experience. Democratizing integration development. We take pride in the fact that our CIC Studio is a configuration-driven and not necessarily a coding-driven platform. It's almost like I hate to use this word, but almost like low-code platform, right? But it is true. We want to democratize integration development. We want to make even the life of an integration developer, be it Cleo services, be it our self-service customer, be it our partner services, we want to remove complex barriers by being laser focused on just the integration developers, right? Then we've got, next up is interconnected supply chain, right? We want to be able to accelerate the new trading partner onboarding, right? We've got over the last years, decade plus 2 decades, we've connected, we've built integrations to so many trading partners. The next step is to think about these trading partners and figure out how do we light up the Cleo network, right? How do we make sure that as customers, when you have, let's say you've connected to Lowe's and now you want to connect to Home Depot, and that's a connectivity we've done gazillion times, how can we make sure that you're able to take advantage of that because you're on CIC? So it's all about this interconnected multi-levels of the supply chain that we already have access to. We have to figure out a way to productize it and bring it into the platform. And then EDI and API on the same platform. In the previous session, we had a few questions coming in on API provider in Clarify, API provider-like capabilities. API is top of mind for us. We've nailed EDI, right? EDI is in our bloodstream, right? There's nothing we don't do in the world of EDI as a product, right? Now we also want to get to the pinnacle of API. However, there's no end to what we could do in API. So that's when we have to pick and choose and say, do we build our own API gateway, or do we bring API gateway-like capabilities on the platform, taking care of throttling and authentication and so on, because we want to accelerate ecosystem integration. It's this simple concept of what can we give you out of the box on the platform, and what can we better connect to on the platform. So on the API side, extensive thinking. Again, what we released on accelerators and boosters today is also another step in the right direction for APIs, because the applications we are connecting with, they're all API driven. So instead of making our customers think about, oh God, Amazon Marketplace, fulfilled by merchant, fulfilled by Amazon, what am I picking? If I go with this, I have 2,000 APIs I could be picking from in my order to cash process. What do I need for auto capture? What do I need for acknowledgement? What API calls do I make? Do I put the order header and the order detail together before I submit it to my ERP? All of those things, we can take care of that for you. And that's our vision. That's where we want to go. While this is the roadmap for the next 18 months, it's not to say that we've not already started work on this. Some of these things, like this particular tile you see here, is ongoing. It's the basis of our being. EDI and API integrations on the same platform is what Cleo does. I do want to make sure I look at the time a little bit. Okay, cloud conversion. This is another, we spoke about this in the announcement with the migration and the assessment and the migration utility. I just want to make sure that we have such industry-leading capabilities built on CIC for data movement, data transformation, integration. For some of our on-premise customers, they may not know the new Cleo, and I urge you to come and know the new Cleo. Right? When we have account advisors reach out to you, talk to them about your priorities. Some of you might have cloud first priorities. You might have cloud only projects going on. You might say, I want to keep my on-premise system as is, but I want to evaluate some of the cloud options I have. We could use the CIC agent to connect to your on-premise systems. And so that's absolutely something that we see our customers doing. And our priority from a roadmap perspective is to constantly add more and more into the cloud from what you had in Lexicom and BL Trader, thereby making it very easy for you to accept and adopt CIC Cloud. And of course, the popular cloud storage applications, the connectivity to S3 and Azure and GCP, that's just the step in the right direction when it comes to enticing and convincing you to move to the cloud, because that's where the world is going. We have 3 more tiles and just enough time to maybe open up the Q&A panel. Platform APIs. Such a huge ask from our customers. They're saying all the goodness you have on your platform, the stuff that you show on CIC Cockpit, I would love to consume it in my UI. Can you expose your data APIs, data both available in the cockpit and maybe the studio? Can you expose your governance APIs? You know, all the admin stuff, the administration and user management and stuff that you're doing. Can you help us call your methods and functions so that we can consume it the way we want? And this is going to accelerate and automate partner onboarding, obviously. And so that's something that we are truly thinking about. A small call to action to our customers on the call here. We are thinking about platform APIs. We are using the phased approach. And we are trying to decide what should be built in the first phase. And so if you have any recommendations, any ideas, any immediate needs, any projects, get in touch with us, products@clio.com. It'll come straight to me and my team, and we will look into it. We will hop on a 30-minute call with you, and we'll discuss it. Industry-specific dashboard. Super excited about this. Our teams are working really closely on this. We spent a good 9 months talking to a whole bunch of customers, many of you on the call here, trying to understand what are your KPIs. And we had 2 separate sessions. We had one for manufacturers, one for logistics and transportation customers, just looking at what are your SLAs, what are your KPIs, what matters the most to you, what type of information do we have hidden in Studio and tucked away in the Studio? It's kind of deep inside, it's buried. And what can we surface up in terms of reports and dashboards? So it's so useful for you. SLA-based notifications are something that we are working on. It's planned to be released in December. The team is super excited about it. These SLA-based notifications would be game-changing. And I'm telling you, there are customers that come and tell us our chargebacks are as high as $1 million a year. You know, sometimes it's $100 a chargeback, sometimes it's $1,000, depending on what business you're in, who your customers are, and so on and so forth. Take advantage of this. This is coming. Look for an announcement. If you're eager to know what it is, happy to make you a pilot customer on this. And in return, we ask that you help us co-develop these SLAs and make sure it's absolutely tailor fit to your industry. Last but not the least is the big announcement from today, accelerators. You may not have heard of boosters, but that's coming in a couple of months. So as you know, accelerators are taking 2 endpoints. And the example we gave today was NetSuite to Amazon. Now imagine if a customer says, I don't have NetSuite, I have SAP HANA, or I have JD Edwards, or I have Microsoft Dynamics, but your Amazon part is still relevant. What can you do with this Amazon part? And that is a booster. We are going to decouple the 2 endpoints from an accelerator. Accelerator is to the test of time because you know that it's connecting, the business processes are flowing through it, right? So we will decouple them and create 2 boosters. So 1 accelerator equals 2 boosters. And now you can use the Amazon booster and say, you know what? Thank you for taking care of one part of the equation for me. You've expedited my time to market. So that's the plan. That's our exciting roadmap. So I just saw that there are a few questions, and I will take them offline. I will respond back to you, Tushar. Thank you so much, guys. This was a great session. I just want to say thank you and wrap with that. I do have access to the questions, and I will respond back to you guys one-on-one.
Hey, Vidya, I will say thank you so much. I know you were moving left and right, and it was awesome because we got a view into the day in life of Vidya and the fantastic natural light that you have there. So thank you so much for the time. Super high energy, super exciting. And folks, what I would say is if you can just imagine the amount of passion NVIDIA has for the platform, the product, and where we're going, you can just imagine the amount of passion she has for exceeding our customers and prospects experience levels, right? And just exceeding the expectations that you have. And so I know she is working relentlessly to solve the problems that every single one of you is facing on a daily basis. So with that.